Bonjour à tous, merci d'être super à l'heure. Nous étions en train de mettre au point nos derniers éléments techniques. Donc, merci de rejoindre ce webinaire. Oh, il faut que je parle en anglais, en fait, c'est un webinaire en anglais. Hello! Sorry for that. I have a echo. Someone should... Rémi, could you close your microphone, please?
Yeah, sure. Sorry.
Thank you very much. Is it better like that? Okay. Thank you for being just on time. We were just managing some technical elements. So we are today around 100 participants to this webinar. The aim of this webinar is to highlight what were the testing trends at NYSCC. Because we cannot attend several shows, we are really thrilled to share the several information that we find, that we observe when we are attending a specific show. Irene, could you close your camera, please? Thank you. And what we see is that there is a difference between the testing trends at INCOS Paris, in Cosmetics Global in Paris, or at in Cosmetics Asia in Bangkok. It's the testing trends are different. And today, my aim is really to share this information with you. So I will start my presentation for 10 minutes. It will be really fast and quick, but all this information will be, there will be a replay, and there will also the PDF, so it will be really easy for you to find again this information, these elements. So I will present for 10 minutes the testing trends at NYSCC, and then I will show you really quickly. Thank you, Julia, if you can shut down your camera. And then, Lulia, could you, thank you. And then I will show you the V2 of SkinOps really quickly, just to give you a brief view of what are the new features. And then the co-exhibitors and sponsors of the We Are Testing booth at NYSCC will present for 5 minutes their expertise of testing. So it will be really quick, but you can feel free to contact them when you like, and if you need more information. And so, as I said, you will have the replay, you will have the PDF available, so everything will be online. So I share my Eva, could you shut your microphone, please? Thank you. So I share my presentation. Okay. Ilona, could you tell me if you see my slide? Okay. I just come. Ilona, tu vois ma slide? Okay. Okay, great. I just want to be sure that you see. So Just a minute. Merci. Okay, sorry for this. So, what are the testing trials? So first, this is the list of the exhibitors. We see that preclinical testing, clinical testing, and both clinical and preclinical testing, and also instrumentation are well represented at New York SCC. And here we see that this is the index of the skin of partners we have published at this occasion. And what we saw, we have there were 15 instrumentation makers, 9 clinical and preclinical testing, 20 clinical testing labs, and preclinical testing for 12. There were also a nice number of attendees with 11,000 people. So this is the distribution of per territory, and we see that North America is really well represented with 46% of the testing labs among the global number, and Europe also with 46%, but that's not surprising because we know that Europe is really there are a lot of stakeholder testing in Europe, so that's not surprising. And then we do see the testing laboratories per country. So you can see that with the USA and Canada, and then the several countries. So what is the context of beauty evaluation in USA? We see that there is a difference between Europe and France after in Cosmetics Global and New York SCC. And the main difference are due to the regulation conference, due to the beauty cultural, because it's more important. The impact of beauty cultural is more important for the testing market in USA, and the regulation, of course, with the USA new MOCRA, is really a revolution for the cosmetic industry. And we see that the skin physiology focus, the testing technology, or the digital experience are not elements that really influence the testing field. So that's a special information about MOCRA, but it's just to precise what is MOCRA. So I will go through 4 main information. One about reverse aging, acne, microbiome, and hair skinification. So what about reverse aging? Reverse aging is really the new name of anti-aging, and we can test this claim through exposomes, through neurocosmetics studies, or sun protection. And here we see that we have several opportunities of studies studying the biomechanical properties with the ADAT skin of the LTDS, studying the barrier function with the in vitro skin model with this artificial skin of Microfactory, or with CIDP with the several oxidation cell assay, or the pollution chamber, or with Neuron Experts with the neurosensitive skin models, and also by testing the UV protection. For the neurocosmetics and sensory analysis, we see that the touchy finger is a really new instrument that enables the intelligent finger. It's an intelligent finger sensory, and you will have more information about that later. And Syres, with the test bar in Paris and their location in Singapore, provide consumer testing and sensory analysis for specific protocols. And also CIDP and Neuron Experts can answer your question about that. Okay. I have just a Okay. I just need to accept the people, so I make a little pause, please. Okay. Okay. Sorry for that. So we see. So we see that, yeah, we spoke about neurocosmetic, about a second trend is repairing the skin. What about the barrier and the sensitive skin? So sensitive skin, it's a special, can be special model, can be also special instrument like the one provided by Microfactory, or also studying the efficacy of products on the neuron sensitive models, and also sun protection. The barrier function can be also studied by epsilon thermalizer from BioX, and ADAT provide a full analysis of data and image of the clinical testing protocols, and also can manage clinical studies. For the sebum and prone to acne skin, it's also a trend in the US market with this global analysis. And here, okay. And then we go directly to hair care, skinification. And we see that there are a lot of tests providing hair growth study, hair 3D model, or all the tests on hair strands, scalp surface, hair structure, hair styling. And I just give you some information. You can retrieve this information. It was published just this week by the cosmetic and toiletries, and what consumers want from hair care in 2024 in US. So you can see what are the main trends. So it's really an important evolution of the testing market. We have also other claims to follow, like radiance, or everything about artificial intelligence, and a lot of new makeup efficacy. Now I propose to present you quickly what are the trends, what are the main what are the main new feature of SkinOps V2. So this is the new platform. This is really easy. It's a easy way to look for methods, to look for CROs around the world. This V2 comes after 8 years of the former version. Here you have a little chatbot helping you every time. Every time you need something, you just click here and you find the answer. And then here you see, you start your search. You can start your category. If I am looking, for example, for efficacy test, and I'm selecting the product, type of product, I say, okay, validate claim. And for example, I want to find something about biomechanical properties, about firming effect. I say, okay, filming effect. I select this, and then I can see a lot of type of analysis about this, how to evaluate this filming effect. And I say, okay, that's very interesting, but I'm interested in the biomechanical properties. And then I say, I can see I have 15 solutions, 99 providers, and here I have all the device. And I said, oh, I have heard about several methods, and I can directly select what I need. And for every, and I say, okay, I want to do this in North America, for example. I can do this test in North America, and I have the test, and I can say, okay, I need to register this method. I register this method, and I can find all my method here in my project. Yes, that has been reinitialized this morning. So I have no my former, because it's a V2 with a beta V2. So sometimes we have surprise. So here you find, when you search also, you can go directly, skip the step, and go directly to the device manufacturer or the country or the service providers. And you can find your project when you have and you can also say, okay, for this test, I want to see this, and I want to send this information to this CRO, and I can directly have this on my messaging. And this is the same for the preclinical. For example, if I'm looking for Neuron Expert, I can say, okay, this is about efficacy, and I can directly see the service provider. I look at Neuron Expert, and I can, what happened? Neuron Expert is not there. Maybe it's here. So I have to check this, but you can select the service provider, you can select the country, you can select the device and the type of analysis, and directly contact the CRO, and also contact them by the messaging system. And you have also your history here, and also the providers, the list of the provider here, and the world map where you can see everything. So I will stop now because it's 3:17, and I will let my my place to Weneos, to Guillaume Lejeune, who will present information about the expertise of UV evaluation, UV protection evaluation. Thank you, Guillaume.
Thank you, Han.
I let you to share your presentation.
Okay. Okay, everyone can see the screen?
Yes.
Okay. So thank you, everyone, to be. Thank you, SkinOps, for the invitation, and thank you, everyone, to attend this this webinar. So I'm Guillaume Lejeune, Business Development Officer for Weneos. Weneos, which was formerly Helioscreen Cosmetic Science. So Weneos is an expert center dedicated to the assessment of in vitro sun protection for cosmetic products and also raw materials. Our company was founded by Dominique Lutz 25 years ago with the global goal of promoting the in vitro method for the assessment of sun protection of cosmetic products and raw materials. So all along the last year since the creation, we introduced many innovations on the market regarding the sunscreen testing in vitro. And so we are now with the main goal of offering like efficient method to assess the in vitro sun protection of cosmetic products, and also to develop new technologies to improving the sunscreen testing in the laboratories. In this regard, our goal is to be able to help you on all aspects regarding the sunscreen testing. So it's of course the testing itself, but also the equipment with the consumables, the PMMA plates, the equipment, the like reference products, training about theoretical, the normalization, etc., and also advice. In this regard, so our main activity is the testing, the in vitro sunscreen testing. So in this regard, we can offer a wide range of tests to respond to all your needs at all steps of your product development. We have different kinds of screening tests to assess the SPF, UVA protection, critical wavelength, water resistance of your formulas, your prototype, your raw materials. We have also all the part dedicated to official claims with sun protection tests according to the official norms, such as the European norm, FDA, boot star rating, etc. And we have also control tests to assess the quality of your product. We have also many different methods for specific claims, like the sound resistance, light protection, sweat resistance, infrared protection, for example. In addition to this, we have also the equipment available to help the brands and the R&D for the cosmetic sunscreen testing. So we can offer the PMMA plates, Helioplate HD6 molded plates, and Helioplate SB6 on blasted plates. Also some temperature control devices with the HD Thermaster to allow control of temperature during the in vitro test. Also with the robotic application, I will talk about that later. So all our equipment is of course compliant with official methods on the market, including the future ISO norm that should be published next year, the HDRS and the double plate in vitro SPF. And we are also a distributor of solar light in Europe for equipment such as spectrophotometers, solar simulators, HDRS devices. During In Cosmetics Global, we introduced our new version of the HD Spraymaster for the robotic application. So this appliance was demonstrated to offer a significant improvement comparing to manual spreading during in vitro sunscreen testing. So with this new version, we have a lighter version, a smaller version, with also more precision, and also a more easy interface with a dedicated software allow you to control the appliance from your computer and to modify the spreading parameters. And finally, another important activity for us is the training about sun protection to allow every kind of companies, cosmetic brands, cosmetic manufacturer, testing laboratories, universities, etc., to offer all these customers the possibility to have a deep training about sun protection with different modules, theoretical modules only, or also theoretical and practical modules, depending on your objectives and your experience. And so if you have any question, don't hesitate to contact us at commercial@weneos.com and to look at our new website.
Thank you very much, Guillaume, for your very interesting presentation. And we will have a nice news of the expertise of Weneos in the next months, I think. Thank you very much. I introduce Pedro Silva from ADAT. Thank you, Pedro, to be there today. And I let you share your presentation.
Thank you. Thank you, Anne. Good afternoon, everyone.
Thank you for the invitation. It's a pleasure to be here with you today. We are ADAT, Advanced Data Analysis Techniques. We are based in Portugal, and basically we do image and raw data analysis for the cosmetics industry in the field of the clinical studies, but we can also manage clinical trials with the different CROs. So what can we do to create innovative ways to support your claims? I have prepared a few slides to, okay, sorry. So we can anonymize volunteers. So this is an image of a person that does not exist because it's a mixture of the 22 faces that integrated the test, and we can create images for marketing and even perform 3D printing and measure the real average effect of the product. We can also map every cosmetic variable such as moisture, hydration, barrier, and we can because the effect of the product is not the same across the whole face. So we can do mappings of every biometric measurement in any part of the body. We can also detect the movements of the skin through vectorization. So for instance, for sagging products, we can analysis before and after the application of the product and then show the effect. We can do confocal analysis on the collagen and analysis, for instance, the collagen reinforcement. And we do this with confocal microscope. We can also perform Raman analysis with the in vivo confocal Raman. So we can follow specific molecules that are known, or we can perform a Raman spectra of your specific molecule and then follow the skin penetration of this molecule, and for instance stratum corneal reinforcement or barrier changes. We can perform a test on video and do the wrinkle counting and anticipate the future wrinkles that can be seen through this method, and analyze the compression effect, the wrinkle volume, and of course the area and some specific variables that can be seen and evaluated through video. We can also determine the radiance with parallel light and cross polarized, and then measure the effect and on the skin of the product. If it increases the radiance, generally it's something that the industry is looking for because the skin with more radiance looks younger. And we can also perform quantification of pores, not only on the number but also on the volume and on the shape. So the round pores are much smooth, and it's generally what we are looking for. So we can perform pore counting, pore analysis, and area. And this is we do this with Visia CR. And we can also perform the skin temperature. For instance, here the volunteer applies a placebo on the left side of her face, and then the product on the right side of the face, and we can see very quick here, for instance, in 15 minutes, we can see the difference in skin temperature and comparing both sides. So this is for cryogenic products or products that have a sooting effect. We can measure it, and we can also have performed through AIVA the effect of a product in the specific wrinkle class. For instance, in class 1, class 2, and class 3 wrinkles, we can measure the effect of the product before and after the application, of course, after a few days, and we can see that the class 3 wrinkles, the more deeper ones, are slightly reduced after the application of this product. So that's what we do. I have briefly prepared this presentation just to summarize some of the things we can do. Of course, we can do more things. We can work with you in several ways. Either you have the data generated in the industry or in another CRO, and we can reevaluate the data or evaluate the data for the first time, or we can coordinate the clinical study, or we can even perform the clinical study with a specific CRO that we work with. So, okay, I'll be happy to answer more questions if you need. The email for new projects is there, and our site, so I can be happy to answer your questions. Anna, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Pedro, for your presentation. And now I introduce you Vandana and Véronique from CIDP.
Hello, everyone.
I let you the floor.
Just confirming, can you just see our screen?
Yes, perfect.
Okay,
This is perfect.
So hello, everyone. My name is Vandana. I oversee business development for CIDP Group. And for today's webinar, me and my colleague Veronique will just be quickly giving you an oversight of our capabilities in terms of the activities that we propose for the group. So CIDP, we are a CRO. We offer clinical trials for cosmetic, drugs, and medical device. We have currently location and facilities in different countries. So we have a center in India, in Romania, and Brazil, and our headquarters are in Mauritius. We have over 20 years of experience in conducting clinical trials, and one of the biggest advantage that we've seen with working with us is the fact that when we talk about inclusivity and conducting trial with multi-ethnic panel, today we can propose this service to our clients. In terms of our accreditation, so all our centers are ISO 9001:2015 certified. We also have our center in Romania, which is having the CIR accreditation, so the tax rebate. And in terms of sustainability, currently our centers have the EcoVadis sustainability rating, and cybersecurity, we have the assessment with CyberVadis with the option of going with ISO 27001 over the year. So our services, in terms of the activities that we propose, we have segregated our activities in terms of preclinical and clinical. So for the preclinical activities, I'll hand over to my colleague Veronique, who will briefly give you an oversight of the studies that we can do.
Thank you, Vandana. So as Vandana says, we have at CIDP Mauritius a preclinical lab, which was settled in 2014. So it's a biosafety level 2 laboratory, certified ISO 9001:2015, and working in the spirit of GLP. So we have at the level of this lab all the equipment, all the state-of-the-art equipment, and we work with different cellular models, including in vitro, so 2D models, immortalized or primary, or 3D models where we have the human skin explants. So at the level of the human skin explant, as Vandana has said, Mauritius is a multi-ethnic population. So we are lucky to have also skin explants, which come from donors of different phenotypes, so 1 till 6. And we are able to culture these skin explants up to 6 days in the laboratory. So different tests are being proposed, whether safety testing as well as efficacy testing. And what we are also proposing is skin penetration assays. So we have at the level of CIDP a semi-automatic cells where we can monitor using human skin explants. We can either monitor the receptor flowing, the stratum corneum, the epidermis, and the dermis. Also, that what is very interesting is that at the level of CIDP, we have developed a system to be able to monitor the effect of exposure on the skin. So this system can be used whether in vitro on cell, ex vivo on human skin explants, but also in vivo on human volunteers. So we have designed what we call a controlled pollution exposure system, which allows us to vaporize pollutant inside chambers of exposure so that we can control the pollutants we're using, the flux we're using, as well as all the different conditions at the level of the exposure chamber. We also have blue light LEDs, so 412 nanometer to mimic the blue light of solar radiation, and 450 nanometer to mimic the blue light in screen. And very importantly, we have a broadband thermopile detector, which allows us to calculate, to know the intensity and thus to know the dose at which we are exposing the skin to. So different biomarkers can be used, whether markers of oxidative stress or of pigmentation, depending on the pollutant or exposure that we're using. We can also monitor downstream effectors such as pro-inflammatory cytokines, MNP1. We can also monitor what you can see here, degraded collagen, and we can see by scanning electron microscopy at the level of the dermoepithelial junction. Now, something that is very interesting is that we are capable, let's say, of mixing the methodology between in vivo on human volunteers and ex vivo, meaning that we're going here to collect tape strips from the volunteers, and it is those tape strips that we're going to expose to our controlled pollution exposure system. And we did this kind of studies in patients suffering from psoriasis, so moderate severity of psoriasis. And from these patients, we collected tape stripping from a lesional zone and its adjacent non-lesional zone. From these tape strips, half was left unexposed and the other half was exposed to the controlled pollution system to different pollutants, including ambient dust, ozone, and UV. And as you can see here, so we monitor different biomarkers. I'm just giving you an example here. So one of the markers that were monitored is ceramide, which is implicated in the skin integrity. And first, you can see that in the lesional skin, we have much more of ceramide than in the non-exposed skin, in the non-lesional skin, pardon me. And what we can see here is that after exposure to pollution, while for the non-lesional skin, we don't see any increase, in the lesional skin, we see that there is an increase in the level of ceramide. So what we can see here is that the basal level of all biomarkers analyzed was higher in the lesional skin compared to the non-lesional skin. And the fact that these tape strips coming from lesional skin were exposed to pollutant, we have an exacerbation of the ceramides and an effect on the skin, showing that this mix of methodology is helpful.
Sorry, Veronique, it's quite the time to finish.
Sorry, Anne, yes, please. Hello, Anne?
Yes, it's already five minutes. If you
Okay,
can.
we just take an additional minute and I'll be concluding. So, so what Veronique was showing is about the preclinical, and I just want to highlight that cosmetic clinical testing is also one of the highlights of our activities. So various kind of tests that we do at CIDP for safety and efficacy. Just showing you quickly in our database, so we have the possibility of multi-ethnic, so African, Asian, Hispanic, Caucasian, Indian ethnicity or mixed ethnicity. Also the possibility of doing studies on pediatric panel. We also have a big chunk of activity which is covering photobiology studies. Our center in Romania is also been approved by the FDA to conduct clinical trials on SPS. So we do in vivo testing for SPF, water resistant studies as well. Also a chunk of our activities related to hair care tests. In addition, we also provide services, so full-end services from A to Z for clinical testing. In terms of biostatistic and data management, so we manage all the data. And finally, we also propose scientific and medical writing. So wherever there's a request or requirement of any data to be published, we can assist our clients for that as well. So that will be a little bit about the activities for CIDP.
Thank you very much, Vandana, and thank you very much, Véronique. I know that 5 minutes, it's like it's not the Olympic Games, but it's not it will be in few months, so we will be ready for that. Sorry for this timing.
No worries. In any
yes,
case, we will be sharing the presentation, and whoever has any queries can get in touch with us, and we'll be happy to assist. So
yes,
thank you.
of course, as I said previously, the replay will be shared and also the presentation.
Yes,
thank you. I introduce Mr. Fabrice Monti.
Hello.
Hello, Fabrice. So you will speak about the innovation of Microfactory technology. I let you the floor for 5 minutes. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And do you see my screen? Yeah.
Yes, I can hear you very well.
Okay. Okay. Because I'm very sorry, because due to the problem with the 2 meetings, I have in 2 meetings at the same moment. But I try to be short and to be clear about Microfactory. Microfactory is a new is a startup come from Paris, and my expertise is in microfluidics domain. The microfluidics is a science in the full expansion, and it's possible to control the fluid in the very small channel thanks to this microfluidics. And you can say, okay, it's possible to control the fluid, but what is the correlation? What is the connection between cosmetics? In fact, with microfluidics, we are able to mimic the sweating and sebum production. And we developed 3 types of technology to use this secretion, this fluid, and to connect with the performance of the raw materials and with the cosmetic product. Today, I will present 3 technologies, but all these technologies are based on microfluidics. That means we are able to mimic the sweating production. We are based in Paris, and we evaluate more than 1,000 products in many different conditions, in many different type of product also. The first idea is to mimic the skin, and the skin is on the left. You can see the surface of your finger. If you wait many hours, you can see the very small droplet. This is the gland. This is the sweating process, and on the right, you are able to see exactly the same thing with your skin. In fact, this is exactly the heart of Microfactory, and thanks to this technology. You can see on the left, the finger, it takes maybe 2 or 3 hours to make this very small droplet. And with the microfluidic, it's possible to mimic the sweating production in few minutes. That means we accelerate the time, and that means we are able to measure the impact of the fluid directly on the cosmetic product in the very short times. The first idea was to mimic the sweating production, and we developed SmartPore. Is the first artificial sweating pore. That means you can see on the picture my finger, and just near the finger we can see a sort of transparency block. This is the microfluidic chip, and in this chip we have 4 independent channels. And we apply directly the cosmetic product like the antiperspirant, like roll-on, stick, and spray, and we correlate the experiments from SmartPore and the volunteer. And we found a very good agreement between the efficacy of the antiperspirant and the measure from the SmartPore. And it was very interesting to see that the microfluidic can help the formulator in antiperspirant domain to find the best ingredient and to find the best formulation. By the way, the antiperspirant is just 1% of the marketing of the cosmetic domain, and we decided to move directly from the antiperspirant to the makeup product, and that's why we developed U-Skin. U-Skin is a very large skin, few millimeters. And on this skin, we apply the cosmetic products such as the makeup, and we push the liquid from the bottom to the top, and we develop a new machine. And this machine measures the color variation and the brightness in real time. In 1 hour, we are mimic, where we mimics 24 hours in the volunteer. And thanks to the CIDP, we make the correlation between the volunteer and the U-Skin technology. And both results are in the very good agreement. U-Skin is dedicated for the screening product from the raw materials, and with the collaboration with the CIDP, it's possible to push directly the best formulation to the volunteer. And we make some poster and scientific communication on this result. And by the way, at the end of the last year, we developed the last technology is T-Skin. T-Skin is dedicated to the tool measurement. That means is more or less dedicated to the skincare or to the barrier effect. And we compare the 3 types of apparatus, such as thermometer, vapometer, and aquaflux. We compare this value based on human measurement directly with the T-Skin. U-Skin produce the liquids, and T-Skin produce the vapor. This is the 2 types of technology, except the T-Skin is like the perfect volunteer. The vapor is continuous and is always the same value, and that means it's possible to apply any kind of product on the surface and see the impact over the time. This is just a very short introduction of Microfactory. If you have any comment, any question, and if you want to contact me, this is my email, and you are feel free to contact me by LinkedIn or directly by email. Thank you very much, Anne, for this opportunity to present Microfactory. Thank you also for the CIDP for the collaboration with the volunteer, and enjoy for the rest of the day.
Thank you very much, Fabrice, for this presentation, for your presentation. I will introduce you now Syres and Séverine Fraissinet, who will present expertise of Syres about consumer testing. I let you the floor.
Okay. Hi, everybody.
Your camera is not open, Séverine.
Do you see my screen?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So, hi, everybody. I'm Séverine. I'm analysis director at Syres. So Syres is specialized in consumer tests. So that means that efficacy, sensory qualities, and tolerance of products are assessed by naive consumers. Sorry, it doesn't work. I can change my slide.
Maybe you can. Maybe you know that there is this 3.0.
It's okay. Okay,
That's
sorry.
great.
Okay, now that it works. Sorry. So we have 5 years of expertise in consumer and sensory testing for cosmetics and hygiene products. For example, last year, we ran more than 200 consumer studies and home use tests. We have 3 sites in France with 60,000 panelists on the whole French territory. We also have more than 3,500 panelists in Paris available to carry out centrally located tests. And we also have 1 site in Singapore for running studies on Asian skins and especially Chinese population. And thanks to our network of field partners, we can run studies in many countries around the world. So for example, in China, Japan, Korea, United States, South America, etc. So you can see all the countries where we can run studies on the map. So our services, so we run quantitative studies, home use tests. So that means that the consumers are using the products at home. Central located tests, so they can come on our sites for testing the products. We have facilities with mirrors, with bathrooms, hairdressing trays. We can run studies under medical control. We work with dermatologists, ophthalmologists, dentists. Studies with standardized photos, multicentric tests, and of course we can adapt our methodology and protocols according to our clients' needs. We also carry out qualitative studies such as focus groups, face-to-face interviews, packaging tests. We also have expert panels who can evaluate the texture and fragrance of cares and foundation, so for sensory analysis. We can launch exploratory studies for anticipating consumers' needs and expectations, so such as thematic workshops, prospective studies, opinion surveys, and also linked studies for real-time tracking of panel responses. So our panelists have an app, and they can connect to the app and give their immediate feedback on the product when they apply it, or during the day, or at different times of the test. And they can send some selfies and testimonials and videos as well, so in real time. Databases are very well documented, so we have more than 300 data per volunteer. So we have many information on their characteristics of skins, their types of imperfections, their usage habits of cosmetics and hygiene products, so the purchasing channels, names and brands of their usual products, their health and beauty concerns, needs and expectations. And we have an image bank. So that means that we have photos of our panelists to control the recruitment process and inclusion in the study. So we have multi-ethnic panels, children and family panels. We can run studies on babies, on teenagers, and of course, tailor-made panels to cover all our clients' needs. So I have the tolerance and efficacy databases. So all our previous results studies are recorded in our databases, and this allows to position the tested product among all the products of the same range. So in terms of efficacy, KPI, general appreciation, and tolerance. So we record all the percentages obtained, and this is a real valuable asset for the analysis and interpretation of the results of the products. And lastly, I would like you to introduce our testing bar. So it's an innovative concept. It opened 2 years ago in Paris, and it's like a store, so open to everyone. And so everyone can come in, even if they are not from our panel. And thanks to a smart terminal and a Syres technician, we can check their characteristics and their habits and propose them to test a product that fits their criteria, and they can test it on site or at home. And a testing bar allows a fast and cost-effective implementation of studies, and also a controlled selection of the panelists. And our new testing bar will open soon in New York City as well. So thank you for your attention, and thank you, Anne, and thank you, SkinOps.
Thank you very much, Séverine, for your presentation. And now I will introduce Laurie from BioX. Would you like to?
Hello. Yes, I'm going to share my presentation in a minute. Yes. Here it is. Hi, hello. Thank you, Anne, for the invitation, and thank you, everyone, for listening to my presentation. I'm from BioX, and I'm...
sorry, Laurie. Can you start to the slide because we just have the presentation, no the full presentation. But if it's okay, if it's more easy for you, we can.
Oh, sorry. You want to use the presentation I sent to you. Is that correct?
No, just share your presentation, and if you can activate the slide mode, it's okay.
Slide mode.
Like
yeah. Can you see the presentation?
Yes.
Okay. Let's see. Yes, but on my screen it's slide mode.
Okay.
I don't know how you can see it.
It's okay like that, Laurie.
Yeah. No, on my computer it says a slideshow. Oh, hold on. Is it better now?
That's
okay.
great.
Okay.
Yeah,
right.
that's great.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Yes. So I'm from BioX Systems Limited, and today I'm going to present hair hydration measuring using Epsilon E100. BioX Systems Limited is a company which is manufacturing the Aquaflux, which is for transepidermal water loss measurements, and also the Epsilon, which is measuring hydration. We are a spin-out company from South Bank University in London, and we have been on the market for about 24 years. So it's quite slow. I don't know why, probably because of the connection. I apologize for this. So as I mentioned, the main focus of this presentation is to show how you can use the Epsilon to measure hair hydration, both in vivo and in vitro. And this is because the Epsilon is usually used for skin measurements, but for hydration. And we also had some customers who wanted to know how can you measure hair using Epsilon, because it's not so straightforward in a sense. And I will show you why. Briefly, what is Epsilon? So Epsilon is an instrument for mapping near surface dielectric permittivity of materials in contact with its sensing surface. So the main part of the instrument is a fingerprint array sensor. It measures dielectric permittivity and provides both image and hydration data in the same time. It could be used for both in vivo and in vitro measurements, and it has a depth of penetration of about 5 microns. The main characteristic of the instrument are the fact that the signal is linear and the instrument is calibrated. Quickly about the software, you can record snapshot, burst, and video images mode, and you could analyze this data. Then also you can choose a region of interest. Then you can measure live permittivity, and also you have histogram displays, and you also get a standard deviation value. As hydration scale for high permittivity, so when, let's say, the skin is where the membrane is wet, you have a light color. And when you have your membrane is dry, then you have a low permittivity and the color is dark. There is no slide for in vivo measurement, and this is because you simply take the instrument and you put on the hair and you do the measurement. For in vitro, there is a certain setup. We do have an in vitro stand, which is presented here, and you use this in vitro setup for measuring your samples. So I give you an example here. You have a hair strand which is tied with an aluminum foil. This is to keep the strand in place. and this is how it was mounted. This is my hair, which is quite curly, so it was a bit stubborn. It was not like this. Because the aluminum foil has a dielectric permittivity closer to air, it doesn't interact with the measurement. These are a few examples of images. Both in vivo and in vitro images look the same. So this is the full image for the whole sensor, and this is a region of interest. And as you can see, you have different dielectric permittivities values. And one of the main things you need to keep in mind is that when you are doing measurements on hair, you need to adjust the contrast because the permittivity of the hair is quite low. So basically, and it's close to air. So when you take a measurement with no contrast, then the image is very dark, so you cannot see the hair. This is why we advise our customers that they need to adjust the contrast. For the analysis, ideal is to use a tool which is part of the software, and it's called epsilon filtering. I had a presentation with SkinOps a few years ago, and it was basically about this epsilon filtering. So what is this? What this filtering is doing? So basically, it's as you can see, this is a slide, and the user can control the settings. So it's to remove bad contacts of the sample with a sensor, or remove, let's say, overhydrated area. So if you have surface water. And after filtering, then you'll get a better understanding of permittivity of the sample material, and also the standard deviation will be more reliable indicator of homogeneity of your sample. Here are presented some images these are before the analysis, and this is after the analysis. So when you use the epsilon filtering, and as I said, you remove the bad contacts, as you can see of what was removed, it becomes gray. And also, if we look at the numbers, this is when it was no filtering, so everything was counted for. And when you remove the bad contacts, as you can see here, the value of the permittivity is increasing.
Laurie, sorry. Can you conclude, please?
Oh, yeah. So this is another one for in vitro. And okay, so these are the last slide is about some guidelines for measuring and analysis here with epsilon E100. I'm not going to read them, so because you'll share the presentation. So as I said, these are the guidelines for customers. And basically, it's exactly what I said in previous slides. Thank you for your attention. If you need some more information about the epsilon, how to use epsilon and the aquaflux, go to our website, and also you have the email address. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Laurie, for this presentation. And I know that we can meet you again at the ISBS in New Orleans. So if you are traveling to the ISBS Congress next month, you can meet BioX team to have more information, more details. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
I will introduce Hassan Zawani from LTDS. Hassan, are you still with us?
Yeah, absolutely.
Great. Can you switch on your camera and share your presentation?
Absolutely.
Thank you very much for being there with us. And it's always a nice things to hear about the innovation that are created in the LTDS laboratory.
You have a problem with me.
Yes, I can't see you. I can't see your camera, and I can't see your. I cannot see your presentation.
Sorry, I have really a problem with me.
Okay, Hassan, would you like me to share the presentation you sent me?
Please, thank you, thank you. Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know why I have this problem.
Would you like me to share your presentation?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Hello, everybody. In our laboratory, we developed for many years ago a specific approach to understand the problem of aging, skin aging and hair in terms of mechanical properties and skin imaging, for example, or hair imaging with different techniques. Recent work, we have developed two new technologies which are based in the challenge of to reduce the size of the device and to have a hand device, for example, to measure mechanical properties of skin and especially the problem of elasticity and firmness. This new technology is based on the contact between spherical probe and the skin. We measure the normal force and the displacement inside the skin. Like this curve, here you have the different stage of penetration of the probe in the skin, and we measure in some time the force and displacement. In this curve, for example, we have two many information, mechanical properties like elastic modulus, stiffness, firmness, for example, and adhesive force, which is the new parameter to understand the lipidic film on the surface of the skin and how we can, for example, use this information to measure the penetration of a product. And like this, we can, for example, generate a kinetic of the penetration by the measurement of this adhesive force. In terms of mechanical properties, we have, by the analysis of the information about deformation of the skin, we can, for example, compute the two parameters related to the firmness. Here, for example, we have the stress, lateral stress, and the depth of this curve, which are connected to the problem of the firmness. And all of this information are presented in the screen. When you go to the acquisition of the data, you have in sometimes the curve of experimental curve like this, and all of these parameters presented in the screen. Next slide, and the last one. So no, before here, for example, I have this map to show you how with these mechanical properties we can have elastic modulus, tensile stress, which is really very important, which is related to the firmness, and peel-up height. These two parameters are related to the firmness. And here you have different value in different zone of the face with all of these parameters, and the acquisition is very quick. You can have a measurement for minimum maximum 1 minute, for example, to have all of this information about characterization. It's a non-invasive method, and you can use it in different zone of the face. Next one. And in complementary to this technology, we work in this axis of research concerning the tactile perception and how we can characterize touch. Here we have developed for 2 years ago this new technology which can be used on a human finger. And after different development, now we have this methodology which is without file. You can use it, for example, on the finger, and we measure friction force and vibration generated by friction. For this technology, we have all of the acquisition of the information presented in the screen. Like this, you can have the friction force and normal force and vibration of your finger when you touch this surface. And the major development in this technology is to be able, for example, to quantify different information which is perceived by our mechanoreceptors, Merkel, Meissner, Ruffini, and Passini. And like this, when you rub a surface, you can have this information about the mean level of vibration, and in some time, you can have all information perceived by our mechanoreceptors. Like this, you can have a score of your touch, and you can have a quantified and objective information perceived by mechanoreceptors and by measurement of friction and vibration. This innovation, coupled with the problem of mechanical properties, give, for example, different application in the problem of aging, the problem of cosmetic application, and in the future, with artificial intelligence, we can build big data with this technology, because all of this technology can work in the hand during the test, and it give you all the information about mechanical properties and perception technology. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Hassan. Thank you very much for your presentation. I will introduce Elodie Gras. Hassan, if you can shut down your camera, please. Yeah. And I introduce Elodie. Thank you for being there, and thank you for your patience. And so I let you the floor.
Yeah, so thank you, Anne, and hello, everybody. I am at the head of the neurodermatology department at Neuron Experts, which is a French service company based on the south of France and created by Rémi Stanschneider in 2008. And so the company has 2 departments dedicated to study the nervous system. And so the central nervous system with the neuropharmaceutical department. And the one for which we are here today, it's the neurodermatological department, in which we study the interaction between the skin cells and the sensory neurons. And so it is really important to study the impact of neurons in the skin, because despite the fact that the cell body of sensory neurons are located alongside to the spinal cord, they emit neurites into all the body and into all the organs and into the skin. And we can see that the nerve fibers innervates also the dermis and epidermis. And so you cannot touch to the skin without activating all the receptors, the captors in the sensory neurons. And sensory neurons are dedicated to sense every stimuli coming from the environment. So in terms of temperature, pressure, but also chemical application on the skin. But they are also able to directly react to this activation and to the physiological state of the skin by releasing molecule into the skin. And so we are able to detect the activation of the receptors and also the exchange of molecule between the skin cells and the sensory neurons. So it is really important to also target neurons when we study the impact of ingredients into the physiology of the skin. And so in Neuron Experts, we are also an in vitro service company. And so we have cellular assays, and we used human cells. And so for sensory neurons, we use the technology of iPS cells, with which we are able to differentiate normal commercial fibroblasts into stem cells, and then to redifferentiate these stem cells into sensory neurons, into human sensory neurons. And these sensory neurons expressed all the receptors that are found normally in vivo. And they are also able to release the molecules that are expected, such as the neuropeptides, CGRP, or substance P. And so we are able to co-culture these sensory neurons with skin cells. So we have two main types of cultures, the two-dimensions cultures, in which we mixed the sensory neurons and the targeted skin cells, so it can be keratinocytes, melanocytes, or also fibroblasts, into cultural plates. And so with this system, we are able to test the impact of soluble ingredients into the crosstalk between the sensory neurons and skin cells. And we can also use three-dimension system. So with the three-dimension system, thanks to our collaboration with Straticell, we are able to co-culture the sensory neurons with full reconstructed epidermis. And so with this system, we are now able to test the efficacy of insoluble ingredients or finished product like cream, serum, for example, on the crosstalk between the sensory neurons and the skin cells. And so with this system, we are able to analyze the impact of ingredient or product on the crosstalk by using techniques like dosage or immunofluorescence analysis to study the expression of the different biomarkers or of the neuronal networks. And so we are able to give a real quantification of the impact of the ingredient and product into the sensory system. And so with all these techniques and the two types of models, we are able to explore a large variety of phenomenon onto the skin. And here you can find some examples. So we can study the well-being activation by the skin. We can also study a wound healing because neurons impact also the wound healing process. We can study the ability of compound to soothe sensitive skin or to soothe itch and irritation. Neurons are also important in the mechanism of anti-aging. So with the system that we have, we are able to explore all these fields into the crosstalk between the sensory system and the skin cells. And so we also have real tailor-made activity to design study. So if you have some project in the scope of the sensory system, do not hesitate to contact us to discuss with you of how we can help you. So thank you, Anne, and thank you all.
Thank you very much, Elodie, for your presentation. I want to thank you, all the participants, for attending this webinar. And we were really thrilled and proud and honored to represent and co-exhibit with LTDS, with Syres, with CIDP, BioX, Microfactory, and Neuron Experts in New York, and have the sponsoring of Weneos and ADAT. And we had, thanks to this collaborative and smart way to exhibit, we had the chance to have a nice area of 40 square meters in the New York SCC, and to promote and to share all these tremendous expertise of how to evaluate, how to study the skin, the hair, to make the cosmetics more safe and more efficient. So thank you very much to all of you, participants and co-exhibitors, and we will give you more information within the week with the replay and with the PDF, and feel free to ask us more information if you need, and see you soon. Maybe at Cosmetotest Symposium in Lyon, or in hybrid options, or also at the ISBS Congress or in Korea. Thank you very much to all. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you very much.